everybody. So let's start with our day zero of OSCP preparation journey. So सबसे पहले हम we will be understanding what is this OSCP certification and what's it's all about. So I'm just sharing my screen and I hope it's visible. So OSCP is a pen testing certification by Offensive Security, and OSCP basically validates your pen test skills using Kali Linux. It's an entirely hands-on practical examination. So just like we solve CTFs, so like you will be given the vulnerable machines, you have to hunt for the flags and then you have to submit those flags. Now, after clearing your OSCP examination, you can apply for the roles of a pen tester or a consultant or an analyst. OSCP examination is highly valuable and is an industrial recognized certification. It's a very good cert having a very good value in the market. So now we have two certs here, OSCP and CEH. So EC Council is also a very popular vendor of these ethical hacking certs. And second is this OFSEC, and OSCP is a certificate exam by OFSEC. Now the CH is a vendor neutral exam. It's for entry level roles, which focuses on to both theoretical and practical aspects because we have CH practical as well. CH practical entirely focuses on to the practical portion. We have CH theory where we have scenario based practical questions, and they both are and like it's a good certification CH too. But OSCP is in hands-on cert. It's a difficult certificate as compared to CH. Let's say if there is somebody who is having no knowledge of cybersec, for that person CH is a very good sort because CH is like a thali, okay, it's a platter which will give you flavor of multiple domains in cybersec. But OSCP exam is mainly focusing on to network based pen testing. It's a pen test cert. So now here like I have stated the CH and OSCP average salary as well in the US. um, and then we can just see that for this OSCP exam, you do not need to have any strict prerequisite, and you need to have the basic knowledge, the foundations. Like so, it's a journey. If you are a beginner, then I will recommend you don't like don't start your OSCP exam directly. Firstly, you should go for CEH. Uh, then you go for EJPT or any other pen test related cert, and then you appear for OSCP. Because this will help you in in gathering theoretical knowledge as well. Because in interviews, like first round is always theoretical, they will be asking you the questions, and if you have good hands-on experience, then that thing you will be able to showcase in your second round. So that thing is very important. So yes, so now like we can just see the certification cost. So pen test, this OSCP exam is expensive, and as compared to CH. And here like I have written that for this pen 200 exam, um, so this is the certification cost. Okay. Now they are the main topics. We have Kali Linux CLI, vulnerability scanning exploitation, web and buffer overflow attacks, pre-escalation and password attacks, active directory attacks, metasploit partial, uh, and then pen testing. So we shall be covering mainly these things. Now this OSCP exam, the duration of exam is 23 hours 45 minutes for the practical lab driven portion, and then we have 24 hours for the documentation where we are writing the report. uh, Now for this thing you will be given the VPN. You have to connect to the VPN, and then there are around 6 machines. uh, so here I have stated 5, like which are old version, but this time I had 6 machines where we had independent machines and AD. Now the passing mark for examination is 70 out of 100, and it's a proctored exam where your camera has to be on. So now this is the exam retake policy. After first fail, you have to give exam after 6 weeks. After second fail, you can retake the examination after 8 weeks. and after third fail you have to retake the exam after 12 weeks. So it is a cooling off period. Okay. Yeah. So now we can just see more information. I'm just sharing my second PPT. Yes. So now we can just see that the official prerequisite which you need to have is you need to have the basic networking knowledge. You need to understand like basic of Bash scripting, Python scripting, Windows and Linux administration, and you even need to have basic pen test experience. That thing you need to have. Now, yes, so your comfort requires mainly 1 to 2 year of CTF like challenge experience. You need to have hands-on familiarity with Linux, Windows environments. You need to understand pen testing in practice, not just theory. Okay. Now, yes. So now, for example, if we have a pre-escalation concept, let's say if you have got the initial foothold, you are inside the system. You want to escalate the permissions. Now, what all methods are there? You will be exploiting SUID binary. You will be searching for the binaries. You will be like running linpies for enumeration or linenum. So there are plenty of ways by which we do it. So you should know, like if this is the problem, then like if this is the thing which I need to achieve, if it's my objective, then this is how I can do. Okay. So now, yes, so if you are not understanding these basic scenarios, then you're not ready for the examination and for its preparation, because OSCP has some high standards. Okay, because like this assumes that you have at least some experience in pen testing. Like if you are somebody with zero experience, then directly please don't jump onto OSCP. When I started my journey, even my first cert was not OSCP. OSCP is my fourth certification. Okay, so yeah. Then see, so you need to just do your hands-on by solving the labs from Try Hack Me from Hack the Box, and build your confidence before starting the official preparation for OSCP. So now I'm just opening my third presentation, the structure of the examination. So now let's see like what the OSCP is trying to teach you. So they are the common key areas: web, Linux, Windows, password attacks, using exploits, port forwarding, pivoting, Active Directory, client-side attacks, report writing, and some different topics are also here. For example, social engineering and these things. So these things are the theoretical portion we will be discussing. But from the exams perspective, they are the main things which I have written. So now there are two big classes of OSCP content. The first portion is the technological content, and the second portion is for the um, techniques. So now here, like if here I am telling, like so you need to have the knowledge of web pen testing. We shall be covering some of the vulnerabilities, but web is a very big domain in its own. If you want to understand web, so you can just let me know. We can have an entire series onto Web 2 from the basics. Okay. So, yes. All right. So, I was here, right? Yes. So, we need to have the knowledge for this web pen test, for the Linux, for the Windows, and for the AD. So, they are main technological concepts and context covered by the OSCP content. And there are the techniques. We'll be learning about password attack. We'll be learning about how to use existing exploits. We'll be seeing how to do port forwarding, pivoting, client-side attack, report writing. So all these things we will be covering. Then this is a topic which is very important: OSCP breadth over depth. So OSCP mainly focuses on the common real life scenarios. We will be learning how to do proper recon, how to enumerate for the services and a lot of information, and then how we can exploit a particular thing. And here we do not need to create our own exploit from zero. We need to have the basic knowledge of Python, C, or other languages so that we can edit and we can understand the existing exploit. Sometimes we have to do some small modification. Let's say if you are running an exploit code using, let's say, Python 3, and that code is written in Python 2, then you should understand like how you can make like how you can run it. If you can downgrade the version, or if you want to make some change in the code, so that thing you have to see. So now, yes, so now we shall be learning about a lot of domains, and if you're not comfortable in any one of them, you can just let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so yes, so there are some of the common modules like report writing, we have information gathering, vulnerability scanning, web attacks, SQL injection, client-side attacks, locating, fixing exploits, password attack, uh, pre-escalation for Windows line export, redirection and tunneling, that is pivoting, Active Directory modules, lab, metasploit, and some miscellaneous exercises we will be covering. So now the next thing which I want to discuss is, okay. So now let's talk about the web environment in OSCP. So the main, um, yes. So here I'll just show you. Let's say if, so now like mainly here I'm talking about some of the web-based scenarios. Now let's say if you have find out that the system is vulnerable to SQL injection. Okay. Then SQL injection normally, if you will learn about WebPT, it's an entirely dedicated module. So you have to like understand uh, those domains, because we can use automated tools for enumeration, but we cannot use automated tools for exploitation. So that thing is a major one which you need to keep in your mind. Okay, so let's say if you're hunting for SQL injection, you might be using SQL map, so that is not allowed. But if you want to enumerate something, like let's say if you are running some script for enumeration, like for gathering more information, that is allowed. But exploitation using automated tools is strictly prohibited. So now see here, like you have to understand the manual method of exploitation. Let's say the system is vulnerable to directory traversal. You have to know like how you can read the system files. You need to have the knowledge of RFI, LFI basics. You need to have knowledge of other web-based vulnerabilities, how we can exploit it. Okay, so there are some of the tools also like which you should know, which are the prerequisite like this search, GoBuster, Bob Sweet. And see here, like I have stated a strict note that auto exploitation tools are not allowed in the OSCP exam. Moreover, you cannot use AI based tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, or Perplexity, so they are not allowed. Okay, fine. So now we are just moving on with the next slide which I have created. So now see, auto exploitation tools policy. So let's say we have this GoBuster. It's an automated. You may feel like it's also a tool which will be searching for the directories automatically, but it is only automating the enumeration part. And SQL map is not allowed because it's automating the exploitation. You need to keep this thing in your mind. And exploitation has to be fully manual, and you must know every command and payload executed. Okay. Exploit DB exploits are allowed. You you can use like you cannot use metasploit framework also, like more than one time you can't do. All right, so fine, now let's move on to the next presentation which I have created for you all. So I'm just coming on to slide 6, and see all these PPTs I will be attaching um, in your drive link below. Okay, so that thing I will be doing, but yeah, but you have to be patient for some days. After some 2 to 3 days I will be uploading. So there is an important line that OSCP is about enumeration, and many footholds they basically rely on to network services like FTP, SMB, RDP, SSH. So you need to understand the Linux, the services, and the enumeration portion. Even we have a detailed dedicated module onto enumeration in a CH content as well. Privilege escalation requires operating system knowledge. Linux knowledge is essential for exploitation and enumeration. And below I have stated some of the common distros and basic Linux skills. You need to know about file navigation, the basic commands like mkdir, cd, ls, cat, less, more. We have plenty of commands for the file system navigation. So you need to know about permissions, find files, searching and setting for environment variables and path, pre-escalation, sudo usage, suid, guid, binaries, password storage, cron jobs, basic tools, and these processes and ports like these commands you should know. Then so here I have written some of the Linux pre-escalation techniques. So we can exploit path, we can exploit SUID binaries, we can exploit the weak password, the weak file permission, we can exploit, we can check cron job, we can look for some service and then we can exploit it. We have a method like sudo hyphen l by which we can check for the permissions of the active user. And then we have some wildcard expansion methods as well. So this entirely depends on to system configuration and enumeration is the key. So just keep that thing in your mind. Now, yes. So some of the tools I have stated like linpiece and linenum. So there are some of the scripts which you can use. And whenever we talk about Linux enumeration, we have two methods, manual and automated. So in manual, we are running the commands, we are analyzing the output, and in automated, we are running the scripts to speed up the checks, like linpiece and linenum. Okay. So these scripts are helpful only when you have the manual understanding. If you do not understand the things manually, then these scripts are of no use to you. Now I'm just moving on with my next presentation, that is on to Windows exploitation. So now for Windows as well, so you need to have the basic CMD commands. You need to know basic PowerShell commands. You should know how to find OS information, user details, groups and permissions, network configuration, running processes, environment variable, installed applications, search, like you should know like how to search for files and history logs, how to search for permission analysis, um, how we can like what are the methods to transfer files, schedule task review. So these things you should know. Now you should also understand how to start a service, how to stop a service, how to restart a service, misconfigurations which may lead to pre-escalation. So these things we will be learning. So we will be learning, don't worry for that. I'm just telling from the exams perspective, but we will be learning from level 0. Now here I have written some of the scripts for enumeration as well, like WinP's um, previous check. So there are the scripts which can help, but the manual methods and those approaches you should understand first. So there are some of the common exploits like print spoofer, got potato. So even in my OSCP exam too, I have used got potato and print spoofer. In many of the machines and labs, we will be using them and we'll be learning how we can get the admin access by running these exploits. So we have a permission that is SE impersonate privilege. If this is not properly configured, then we can abuse it, and with the help of these exploits, which will give us the admin access. So service hijacking and quoted service path. There are some of the ways. Now let's move on with the next part. So password attacks, so basics of password cracking tools, for example, John the Ripper, Hydra, Hashcat, Minicats, you should know. Okay, so you should also understand how to crack password for KeyPass, how to crack these dot hash files. So we shall be learning everything from zero. We'll be also learning how to crack AD hashes like NTLM hash, net NTLM v2 hash, Kerberos roasting, AS rep roasting. So all these things we should be learning. So brute forcing via Hydra. Yeah, so Hydra, Hashcat, John the Ripper, Mimicat. So they all are the tools of password cracking only. You mean some are cracking, like hashes, some are cracking for the live services. So you need to know both the tools. So now we can quickly see one more presentation. That is this one. So whenever we are exploiting vulnerabilities, we have two methods. One is the manual method by which we are manually inputting the payload and we are searching for the flaws. The the second method is we can use the pre-existing exploit, which are either found online or onto exploit DB, and then we can just run them to get the access. So for key techniques, we have some tools like searchploit. Searchploit is the this is directly linked with exploit DB. Searchploit we have in Kali Linux. So you can just use searchploit or exploit DB anyway. You can search for CVs and POCs online onto GitHub repo, onto some notes you can see. Alright, so exploits can be executable scripts also, and they can be simply nodes as well. Okay, so yeah. So now I guess this was what I wanted to discuss with you on day zero. We should be learning more things. So we will be so by tomorrow I will be sharing you a proper roadmap where I will be writing like on what day, what labs we'll be covering, and what concepts we'll be learning about. So stay tuned with me. Thank you and happy learning. Bye bye.